Okay, it works. Yay.
Wow!
We made it.
I feel so proud of us.
If I were green, I would die. If I were green, I would die. If I were green, I wouldn't tell myself I never would go without my day when to die. If I were green, I would die. I'm saying I'm blue. If I were green, I would die. I'm like a bird in a cage and I'm going cuckoo, cuckoo. I know that I can escape, but I don't wanna hurt you, hurt you. Do I really love you? Do I really love you?
Let's start our interview. How does the situation with the COVID-19 looks like in Israel?
Wait just 1 second. My shirt is it's like tangling in the chair. I hope I won't have any problems with it. I'll fire my stylist later. So one more time.
So how does the situation with the COVID-19 look like in Israel?
Pretty much, I've learned pretty much it's different in every single place. Every country deals with it differently. Israel had everyone in quarantine for the past 2 months, like the entire month of March and the entire month of April. We were all shut down, and people had no income, and it was really difficult. But the vibe is very positive. People are Israeli people has this kind of nature. We are used to being survivors. We are used to kind of situation. So we stick together, and we have all these platforms because we are a war zone. So we have all these platforms to support each other in this kind of times, and volunteering. So this was pretty great going on, and right now there's kind of the schools are reopening and restaurants are reopening, and I live in Tel Aviv, which is like the city. Like it's like Amsterdam. So it's like the Tel Aviv is breathing again, and it's a beautiful thing to see. There's also like this the restaurants are like yesterday I ate for the first time. I ate in a restaurant. I was so excited because I'm a big foodie. You might have guessed or not.
Who is
but it's my favorite. Like Israeli food is like the best kind that there is everywhere, and it was amazing. I sat for the first time with my friends in a table supporting the restaurants and the businesses who like some restaurants and some businesses won't even wake up from this difficult lethal injection. The economic crisis, they might not wake up, and it's a difficult thing to say.
Yeah, coming back to normal might take a while. Okay, have you seen any good movies or shows during this isolation? What would you recommend?
I watched the entire. I watched 4 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh,
Repetitively. I love this. I got so much. I got inspired a lot out of it, and I watched Ozark. It kind of brought us down.
mhm.
And I watched a documentary on Netflix about what's his name, Rajneeshpuram, about Osho. Osho was like it was kind of like something between a cult and a whole like movement, and it was like kind of the biggest cult in history, and it's mad.
I
It's
need to
mad.
look it up because I'm fascinated with such things. So,
Wow, it's incredible. You actually, they didn't interview like the head of the thing, the Osho. He was like a meditation guru. His
mhm.
meditation, like studied, and they were actually interviewing his right hand, which was a little Indian lady, and she's you're torn between like loving her and hating her and distrusting her and wanting her to win, and it's crazy. It's all real. It's like the best screenwriters could never write this kind of thing. Also, the best screenwriters could never write the corona thing. I've heard like the Black Mirror people are actually rethinking their new season, and they're saying, listen, this whole corona shit is like next level. and they're like postponing the release for them to like reshoot stuff, which is nuts.
Okay, I would like to ask you about from time perspective, how do you reflect on Eurovision Song Contest in 2018?
Thinking back,
Yes. How do you reflect on that time, the whole contest?
it was all the volumes of reality were extreme.
Mhm.
The good was extremely good, and the bad was extremely bad. It was a lot. It was a lot. Like I felt so proud bringing this event to my country and being able to show how amazing I really think our people are. And it was also, really bad because I was very stressed about how people would see us and for them to see us as people.
Mhm.
And this is a tough situation. Like every single place in the world, this is a tough situation. And we all want it to end. Obviously, I'm talking about the Middle Eastern conflict. But I was obviously stressed out because me being the Eurovision winner, I was supposed to prove myself as like that I can leave the winning song back behind me and keep on creating. And it's a big question about like how there's like a talk about a Eurovision curse.
Mhm.
Like winners, they don't really get to have a successful international career because
Something about
it iconizes them in a way that that the Eurovision fans they think of the song, and they think because when you put music and competition together, it's
Mhm.
a tiny bit of a no-no. I see Eurovision as a music festival. I really like a lot of the artists that I met there and that are participating now. Uh,
Yeah,
and
about those artists, because when you watch all those representatives of each country back in 2018, who did you think had the biggest chance of winning apart from you, of course?
in 2018,
Yes.
I was thinking you were asking about 2019. So I was thinking about the Eurovision being in Israel. But if you're
Mhm.
asking in 2018,
Yes, when you
uh,
watched all those performances live, and who did
I
you think had the biggest chance?
absolutely incredible. I thought she was amazing.
Who could you repeat because I haven't heard?
Lenny, she
Oh,
she was she was amazing. I think we both deserved the win that night. Um, I don't think I think there were so many great acts. Like I don't believe that a win or a crown or a prize or a trophy, in my opinion, in my case,
mm-hmm.
is appropriate because it's music.
Yeah, that's true.
It was good. It was good. She had an entirely different kind of thing going on, and it was amazing
Yeah.
and powerful.
Do you still feel like the repercussions of Eurovision, like how people in Israel perceive you after winning this?
Kind of as a national hero.
Really?
Yeah, because when you make music, there's some people that like you and some people that don't like you, and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's music, and you're like, okay, some people like pop, some people like blues, some people like, and suddenly everybody likes you. They don't have to like the music that you make,
Mm-hmm.
but because they like you. So taxi drivers and flower salesmen, and I was like a really really underground kind of a musician. I was performing in bars. I was doing blues jams. I had a very niche kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you make a big win, then people like you just for that, and that's really weird. It's really weird. It's weird for me. I still hope that people can leave this behind.
Mm-hmm.
I can still hear those questions. Like, you are still asking them, obviously, and I'm like kind of tired of it because I am making new music and I am trying to leave this behind. I cherish Eurovision. I cherish its fans. I love them with every bit of my heart, but I want to keep on creating music.
Mm-hmm.
Experience was amazing, but it was one song and it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because of you, the Eurovision actually happened in 2019 in Israel, and the fact that it happened there, and there was this huge like performance by Madonna. What was your reaction on that?
Listen, Madonna's my hero.
Yeah.
I love and cherish her way, and she's so much bigger than that specific performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think very highly of her. I think she's done so much for so many people, and including me. She's a true icon, and I could never say anything bad about her.
But were you shocked by this performance or not?
I guess everybody has bad days.
Okay. I want when it comes to Madonna, you said that she's like one of your inspirations, and I wonder who are your other musical influences?
When I was 12 years old, my mother bought me a Walkman,
Mhm.
and I was listening only to Israeli music up until then. And then in the radio, they played a remix of a song called "Think," and I immediately stopped. I'm usually when I'm with a Walkman and I'm 12, then I'm like skipping in the house and I'm dancing in front of the mirror. Then when it played, I heard this enormous voice, and I stopped. Like, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? And I sat very quietly the entire song, shocked, waiting to hear the person in the radio say the singer's name so I can find her. And then he just didn't say her name. And I immediately started screaming with a great deal of anger. And I went to my mom with tears in my eyes and I said, "Listen, I heard the most amazing song I've heard in my entire life, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know who sang it." And then she took me. It was like before iPhones and technology. We had CDs, so she took me to a CD store, and the poor 16-year-old saleswoman needed to listen to a sobbing little girl trying to imitate what she heard on a Walkman, and her trying to identify what is it. And she skipped from all the CDs from the beginning to end, and then she found Aretha. And the minute I heard it, I said, "Oh my God, that's it!" It took 4 hours, and we bought the entire discography that day. My mother, my amazing mother, she bought me the entire discography of Aretha, and I discovered her. And it opened a whole world for me that's called gospel music, R&B music, soul, Otis Redding, Ray Charles, sorry,
Mhm.
but up in the influencer world. Ray Charles, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, obviously Lauryn Hill, and I was captivated, and I was so touched, and I said, "This is the way I want to sing now." And I had jazz training and soul training for 10 years. I went to jazz vocal teachers, and I was doing that. And people were actually expecting me because of my size and to sing like Aretha Franklin or to sing like Adele. And I was very comfortable at that spot. When I was 14, people were already calling me a big mama. Imagine being a big mama when you're 14. that was really weird. But I enjoyed growing up on these kind of songs.
Mhm.
And Aretha was a big role model because she was very, very strong. Obviously, Etta James and Nina Simone, and they all gave me so much as a singer, as a performer, and as a woman, as a musician.
Mhm. Okay, so I have one more Eurovision actually question about this year Eurovision. Who are your top 3 picks? when it comes to entries from this year?
Well, I've been a big fan for about 4 years of Little Big, the Russian band. Absolutely, ridiculously creative and amazing. And I was actually very privileged to perform with them before them, after them, in a festival in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shocked by how amazing they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already a fan, so I took a picture and I was like, oh my god, Little Big. I love them. I also think that obviously the Icelandic song, one of the most creative hipster on Eurovision like kind of song, and it's absolutely blowing up right now in the US. So kudos for them, and send my regards to these guys.
You are an example of a person with a very great self-confidence. And I wonder, do you have like moments of when you feel insecure about yourself or not?
Well, I am human, so obviously I do. I do have my bad days, and you know, this whole conception of like Eurovision made me feel like sometimes you have to avoid the feeling that people make you feel when you're asking all these questions about Eurovision, that I'm no more than that. And like, that's the biggest insecurity that I have. Like, I know that I have so much more to offer, and I have I wrote my new song Kuku exactly about it, like the crisis after like people putting you in this box with buns and said, yeah, we like you like this, please don't change, and don't try to think that you're something else but that. I wrote this from the bottom of my heart. Like, I'm like a bird in a cage and I'm going cuckoo. Like, I'm absolutely, I was losing it. And this tipping point when you are releasing something and it's not getting attention, so I am thinking negative thoughts about me. Like, I guess you're asking about size or beauty, but it's not a thing anymore. The thing is what I really want to be and what people expect me to be.
Yeah, that's really true.
Breaking that.
Breaking the mold.
And it's like, it's different in any type of like form. It's like it's true with body image, it's true with self-esteem, it's true in a relationship, and it is true with career. It's true in any type of form. It's what people expect you to be and what you really want to be.
Yeah, because your new single Kuku, it's much more honest than all of the other songs that you previously released. And weren't you actually, didn't you feel like uncomfortable by exposing yourself, your vulnerability like that?
I don't think it's the most honest, because obviously it is brutally honest, but I wrote a song called Basa Sababa, also very, very honest, but not very well written for like for people to understand. When I was like 15, I dated a guy. It was like one of my first loves, and he wanted to keep it a secret. And when I told him, like, listen, I really want us to be together, and I really want people to. I want to tell my friends. I want to tell my parents. And then he told me that he was ashamed of me because I was fat, and his mother didn't like fat people and was walking with him in the street and saying, like, look, there's a fat girl. This is disgusting. You're gonna never be like this. You're gonna never be with someone like this. And from that moment until I was absolutely 24, I didn't allow myself to be in a relationship with anyone in an open way, just to avoid that moment when he has to say that this is not going to work. Like, you are just my guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And like the lyrics, like, stop, call your mama now, tell her I'm a rhino. Like, people, like, I was acknowledging my self-image as like a pink, fabulous, big rhino, because like people have been calling me like aggressive, like shaming me for being powerful or opinionated or a leader, and like, and the word in Israel for this is like a rhino.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, okay, I am a rhino, but I am a big, fabulous pink rhino. And this song was misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because of its like very foolish writing that people are not used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's badly written. Then like very vague. Maybe I wrote it because I didn't want people to know, or like I wanted to protect myself still, but I still wanted to mean something to me.
Mm-hmm.
It is an honest song, but maybe not in a way that Kuku is, like very open and inviting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm glad that you actually explained the meaning behind those songs, because now that someone watches this interview, they will maybe the song will resonate to them in a different way, you know.
I wish so. Very, very, very terribly. I don't like to leave my listeners hanging. I like to say, listen, I wrote it about this and this and this and this. I also very like people to take it to their world.
Mm-hmm.
Because like what happened with Toy, like people took it to so many other directions, and also with Kuku, like I'm getting a lot of messages of people like, listen, I've listened to Kuku for 48 straight hours, and I decided to leave my boyfriend because this is like not it's difficult, but it's okay. And then like I got a message about someone like leaving a very abusive job and pursuing like their dream. Like it's a song about doubt. It's a song about a tipping point of like really what people want and expect you. Like, listen, aren't you happy you have this amazing life from the outside?
It's amazing how people can actually apply the music to their own experience, and even if the song is not about such issue that they are facing, they still feel like it's about them.
This is one of my favorite parts about being an artist. Like,
Mm-hmm.
release something and people, they do what they want to do with it. And I'm so grateful
Mm-hmm.
for doing it.
I wanted to ask you because you said on one of your Instagram posts that you actually built a music box for Kuku, and you even performed with it on Eurovision Shine a Light performance. And will you release this version as well?
Yes, when I release, I will release a bundle of like all of my previous songs, and I'm gonna call it goodie bag because it's like leftovers from a party. When you get a goodie bag, then you're taking something home. So my next step is gonna be a big album. Then before that big album, which I'm writing right now, and I'm so excited about it. I can't say when it's gonna be released because I don't want to know. But inside this goodie bag, there's gonna be this version because I wasn't planning. I wasn't planning to release both versions. I built this music box thinking that I am going to tour Europe
Mm-hmm.
and in radio stations promoting the song and letting other people hear it. So I wanted an intimate vibe. So going to each and every radio station with a music box and say, "Hey, I have something special," would have probably aroused interest. But then Corona happened,
Yeah.
and it actually allowed me to do like, listen, everybody's at home right now, and let's do a version when I'm sitting on the bed and I'm just playing it with a pajama. Let's do it. I need people to feel how intimate this is.
Yes, and it was beautiful.
And you know, everybody's kind of like a bird in a cage in Corona. and and it was one of the most amazing things, liberating, that I did, because every one of my videos, including the Kuku video that's about to be out, like a very big video. So every kind of video that I did in my life is very expensive.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to put in your videos together.
Like the days and days of shooting and dreaming and you know, I'm working with this director Roy Raz, which is like an amazing dude who works with me and understands me as an artist, and suddenly, like, giving that up, giving like up the looks, giving up everything, I want to reveal a song which is like, it's a piece of my heart.
Mm-hmm. You were supposed to tour Europe at the beginning of the year. In January, you were supposed to have 3 concerts here in Poland. However, they never came to being. So, what was the reason? Why were they like?
I don't quite remember. I think it was something with like the promoter. I was I don't know. But we said we will like reschedule, and it never came to be because of, you know, shortly after that Corona happened.
Yeah, I hope that it's still in plans.
I'm planning, you know, after I'm afraid it's gonna be like the second wave. So nobody's making any plans, but I am working on this album thing, and when this is released, then I'm going to go to any corner of the world, including just to, you know, just to perform, and even in a corner of a street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so thirsty for like performance. So thirsty.
Yeah, I can imagine for an artist who is locked in the house for over 2 months already, it must be frustrating.
Totally.
Okay, I would like to ask you about your outfits. How much are you involved in picking your outfits? Because your fashion is really something else. Yeah.
I am so involved. This is actually pissing off my entire crew. But it wouldn't be so amazing if I didn't have my complete heart in it. I am in every stitch and every color and every choice together with my team, because obviously I can't do everything by myself. But I always had passion for beauty. You know, in Israel, there's not, when you walk into a clothing store, there's not clothes in your size. So I had my entire life to like buy granny clothes, like, and like twitch them up. So I had this great aesthetic sense. I would like shorten them and rip them and do like all this crazy stuff to perform in bars just so I can have like performance clothing. And the reality show, I did a reality show, so I met a beauty team. And then I said, listen, you're going to do something that you've never done before. And you're gonna act real weird about it and fishy about it. I'm thinking this would not work, but you just wait and see. And I made them dream with me, like how big this can get, and how to dress a big girl like a pop star. They never did before. All the when you are working in television, when you're working in a beauty industry, you realize that the thinner you make a girl, and the more you use illusions, and the more you cover her up, the better, for everyone's sake. And what I was telling them, that the bigger you make me, the better. And we use like big shoulder, and we use like belly revealing shirts. We actually in the latest Eurovision we wore a leotard, which was a big fuck you to a lot of people, and all the Israeli young designers decided that they want in, and it has been a journey to educate them about beauty and size and structure, and educating myself and them. It's been like amazing. I've been working with so many young talented designers. The younger they were, the better, because they were so willing to learn. Like my Basa Sababa video, most young designers. The dress, the big wedding dress, the pink one, is made by a 22-year-old student, still living in her mother's house, and working as a security guard in a mall. And she made my dream come true, and I made hers along the way. And it's a big issue to me, to look the way I deserve to look, and the way I want to look. When I was like, it's a cute story. When I was like, I suffered a lot from bullying, and kids didn't like me a lot. So I said, if kids didn't like me, then I'm gonna try to be an adult. So I was hanging out with my teachers. I was hanging out with my mother's friends. I went to work with my mom, just like writing paper, and I talked very maturely. Oh, you're very mature for your age. I loved hearing that. And I just didn't want to be a kid. And in my career, I'm giving a lot of therapy to myself, and while dressing like a little princess. Like if I was like 6-year-old and mother would ask me, what would you like to wear for your birthday? I would say, yeah, pink puffy dress. And this is what I'm doing right now. Big pink puffy dresses. Couture.
Well, I'm glad that we actually have artists like you who want to change the society and the perception of the size and the whole music industry, and that's really inspiring. And I think that's all of your listeners actually look up to you, and you're a good role model for them to follow.
Thank you.
Because
I appreciate it.
Even by winning this Eurovision, you proved people that you don't actually need to fit into this concept of being like a picture perfect, but with just your talents, you can actually make your dreams come true and be successful. So that's really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for these words. I do everything with like no pressure. I just listen to my heart. And when you listen to your heart, you accidentally inspire other people. It's just like, I just try to do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Try to dream big and do what's right. It's not, and sometimes I fuck up. I know I fuck up a lot.
Everyone does.
I fuck up a lot, and sometimes it's very difficult to do the right thing every time because of a lot of decisions and barriers. And there's like things you're not allowed to say, and yes, and you are allowed to say. It's very like, the bigger you get, it's the more limited you are, the less freedom you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to do my best in this, in the limitations, and breaking them each and every time, like in Kuku.
Yes. I think that musicians have this power to actually, even if they cannot express some opinions on the situation we're going through or any other issues, they can actually put it into music and express it by music. So it's really awesome that you have this opportunity to actually speak volumes about your own opinion. And yeah.
Wow.
I really hope that you will turn all those bad experience of yours which you faced in the past, that you turn it into positive energy and release amazing music and keep inspiring people to be better.
I wish so too. From my heart. Thank you.
Okay, I think that I don't have more questions for you because that's all I had. However, thank you very much for this interview. You are really an amazing person, and I cannot wait for what's to come.
I have my number, so text me now.
Okay.
And I'm in Poland when Corona's over, I hope.
I hope we can meet. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.